Thank you for that warm intro, Jacqueline. Hey, how's everyone doing? You good? Everyone had a good lunch? Yeah? All right. All right, I promise I'm not here for stand-up. All right, so yeah, my name is Ankit. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Sapien. Sapien is a democratized social platform that will be built on the blockchain. So, could I get my slides up too? Is that possible? Okay, it's a different background, but well, let's go with it. So I'm here today to talk about 5 lessons that I've learned as an entrepreneur, right? And this is a journey that we've had over the past few months, and I've learned personally very important lessons about being an entrepreneur in the space. So when I tell people that I'm a 22-year-old blockchain entrepreneur, oftentimes I'm like this, right? I'm just that crazy guy who's talking about blockchain, and it makes sense because the space is so new, not too many people know about it. So I actually wanted to use my platform that I have here today and talk a bit about what some of these terms are, because this huge revolution that's happening right now, and it's important that we as consumers know what's happening. So just for definitions, blockchain is a distributed ledger which anyone can contribute to. There's no single centralized entity that's holding all your data. It's instead distributed in a manner that's better for people. Bitcoin was one of the first applications of the blockchain, and essentially it was the first digital currency, and you can consider it like gold 2.0. Ethereum, that's what I spend most of my time with, is a distributed computer that allows people to build complex applications on distributed infrastructure. So this is actually what Sapien is based on, and one of the technologies that I'm very bullish on personally. So let's throw it back, way back, right? I'm talking about when my family immigrated to US when I was just 4 years old. And I'm sure many of us in the audience today can relate to that process, right? Ripping yourself from the roots from one country and coming to America, it's exhausting, right? It's a commitment that the parents have to make. And through this, I really have to recognize my parents' bravery, because every time that I'm having a hard day, I really think about them and the sacrifices that they made, and it inspires me to work that much harder. Nothing that I do is really that difficult compared to some of the sacrifices that they made. So, and for that, I'm forever grateful. So, when we came here looking for our American dream, parents, here you see baby Ankit, just 4 years old. There was an expectation, right? Like not like an expectation, but all the hopes and dreams of my family were in me, right? As many of you can also relate to. But it turns out that things weren't looking so good. So this was in UC Berkeley. Got several C's, but you know what they say, C's get degrees, right? I entered engineering college not knowing how to code, which was insane. And I actually risked graduating without a degree. And this was actually the first time I'm sharing this today. And it's a little bit of a tangent, but my counselor actually walked me in one day and told me that, look, Ankit, you're not going to graduate. You're not taking the classes that you're supposed to take. And because at that time I was engineering, mathematics, and statistics, and I wanted to go into EECS because I started to like CS, but the threshold is so high, so you have to get like a ridiculous GPA to transfer in. But I heard my counselor and I was like, wow, I better get my stuff together, right? And that junior year, I worked my butt off and I got the A's. I was able to transfer in, and the reason that I'm sharing this is that everyone has their own path, right? Each of us have our own way to get to the end goal. So there's no one path to success. We all travel a different road. So some things happened. Should be ... there, but. And now this is Sapien. Could I get some audio on this? Possible? Got some audio?
User data and content monetization.
All right, I'll start from the beginning. So this is the explainer video for Sapien.
In today's social media environment, there are a lot of players, but only one winner, the platforms themselves. These platforms hold all of the power over user data and content monetization, and in return, they keep the profits from selling your data and allow channels to be polluted with fake news and invasive advertisements. Introducing Sapien, a decentralized social news platform powered by the SPN utility token. The SPN token is the key to the Sapien network. Sapien gives users full control over their data. Contributors are incentivized to create quality content by receiving rewards in SPN tokens, which will be usable throughout the platform and marketplace. Sapien also enables creators to easily monetize their content through micropayments or subscriptions. Since users own their personal data, they can opt in to receive rewards via the Sapien advertising platform. In the Sapien ecosystem, advertisers, publishers, merchants, and users will all receive extensive benefits when they transact with SPN. So, how does it work? Users build reputation in a community when their contribution is evaluated positively by other reputed members. These evaluations are evaluated by smart contracts on the blockchain for robustness and transparency. A global reputation system helps create a proof of value protocol that works to fight trolls and punish fake news. Sapien is a democratized platform that understands that users are the true value creators within a social network. Visit Sapien Network and join one of our vibrant communities today.
So that's Sapien. So here we are today. Earlier this year, in January, we had our token sale, in which we raised over 20,000 Ether, which was then valued at 20 million. And this is basically what some people call an ICO, or an initial coin offering, in which we invented our own cryptocurrency and then for the purpose of using it in our social platform. So this was just an super exciting experience that I had the opportunity to participate in and lead. And now we have over 20 people all around the world that are working hard to build Sapien, which is a democratized social platform that rewards people for quality content, it fights fake news, and it puts users back in control of their data. So we have 60,000 community members across various channels, and this past Monday we actually released our beta, which was super exciting. But yeah, so another cool stat about our token sale: we had 142 countries participate, which is 5,000 participants, and this was just so cool to see support from all over the world for this vision of Sapien. And again, just to sort of clarify, when we say democratize, to us, it really means putting power back in the user's hands, right? How can we get users to really have an active voice in shaping a social platform? Because nowadays, a lot of these big companies, they'll basically do whatever they want without any voice from the users. And that's one of the key value propositions of the blockchain and things that I'm working on. So you might think, okay, that escalated quickly, right? From zero to ICO. What happened in the middle, right? And that's actually what I'm here to share a little bit more about today. Learning, experimenting, taking risks, hustling hard. That's what happened in the middle, right? This was a very, these four things are essentially what we call entrepreneurship, right? And it was a huge amount of effort that my team and I put in to make this a reality, and that's what I want to sort of walk through today. So I'd say my journey really began in UC Berkeley. As I have Asian parents, so I'm sure many can relate that they really do want you to get into the best college, and there's a reason for that, right? They want you to be surrounded by some of the best professors, the best faculty, and it makes a lot of sense, right? We also have this one of the greatest things at UC Berkeley, and I'm sure many top colleges, is the students there, right? You're able to meet and interact and have conversations with with other people from different perspectives and backgrounds, and it really just creates a very, exciting laboratory for you to grow and develop as a human. And again, like, we sort of do put a little bit too much emphasis on education. So I think it's important to step back a bit and realize still how privileged we all are, right? The opportunities that we have, it's not like we're running around looking for clean water or worried about where our next nutritional meal is coming from, right? We're in Silicon Valley. I mean, we have a lot of our basic needs already taken care of. So we should really be thinking about, how we can push those boundaries even more. And that's one of the things that I really took away from UC Berkeley, right? Never be satisfied. Always question the status quo. Think about how you can make the world a better place and what you can do to maximize your probabilities of success. So that's lesson 1. Each of you have incredible potential. Think deeply about what you enjoy doing and what you are good at. So I want to talk about my co-founder, Rob, in Berkeley. This guy and I have been on this journey since 2016, and it's just been amazing. When I first met him, in college, he was just a shy kid, hair covering his face. He's like, "Yeah, hi, my name is Rob." I was like, "All right, cool. I'm gonna be living with you for a bit." So I didn't know at that time that he was gonna become my perfect sparring partner and my co-founder for Sapien just a year later. And that's another important lesson that I really wanted to put out there today. You don't judge people by their appearance. You never know when that shy kid in the back of class might just end up being your perfect teammate or that perfect co-founder. Learning. So one of my favorite experiences with Rob was that we were able to have these late night conversations where we would just go hours and hours talking about the craziest ideas, right? Human rights, intelligence, if you split a sandwich in half, are there 2 sandwiches, right? And are there infinite sandwiches if you keep cutting that sandwich in half? So just like the dumbest things. But the point is that, we're open to all these sorts of crazy discussions, which actually helped us cultivate some of the crazy ideas that we sort of put into Sapien, which was awesome. And when we sort of came up with this idea for Sapien, we'd laugh at some of the failures of Google+, but then seriously get concerned with some of the privacy issues of Facebook and some of these bigger websites. So we thought to ourselves that, we could code it, right? We had that technical background, so why don't we just give it a shot? We don't have anything to lose. So we, self-taught ourselves a bunch of stuff, how to build scalable technologies, scalable social networks, and we just started coding, right? And we wrote the Sapien code ourselves that's live today in the beta that was released last Monday. And, this entire process has just been so rewarding. And the crazy thing was, when we first started coding, we were putting days and weeks and months in, and after all this hard work, I want to share with you guys like the alpha that we built, right? This was the alpha, right? It was called Website Name, and we knew that this was the platform that we put out there to take on Reddits and Facebook, and we're like, wow, like. Yeah, it'll probably be fine. I mean, you can vote and you can create a new post. So, jokes aside, this was something that we were still incredibly proud of because we had created it from scratch, right? There was, this whole learning process that went into it. Even though it's not the prettiest platform, it was still something that we had done without, again, as I said, knowing how to code before going into engineering school. And that's an important lesson. You learn by doing. And I wanted to quote Vinod Khosla as it comes to learning. Most people are limited by what they think they can do than by what they can actually do. If you naively believe you can do this and you go try it, you will actually do more than, say, not trying it at all. Naivete is an important part of entrepreneurship. All right, break time. Everyone stand up real quick. This is all seriousness. Take a deep breath, inhale, and exhale. One more time, inhale, exhale. How good did that feel? Right? Shake it off, and just sit back down. So, this is actually an important point that I want to make here. The life of an entrepreneur is grueling. I'm talking, we put in crazy hours, like 16 hours a day, 100-hour work weeks. These are not uncommon. And I think it's important to figure out some sort of distraction or hobby that you can sort of clear your mind and focus your energy somewhere else. And that's one thing that I learned with personal experience. I used to go to the gym in the morning, work out, 10 a.m. I used to be exhausted by like 6, 7 p.m., right? But I made a small adjustment. I just started going to the gym 3 p.m., right? And that was such a nice adjustment that I had made because I could just clear my mind, scrap away all the worries of the day and just have my time alone. And whether, it's working out, playing an instrument, doing yoga, having this outlet is so important. And I really suggest that all the entrepreneurs out there really think about, some outlet or something. So that's it. Experimenting. The path to Sapien was definitely not a straight one. We originally tried to build a fully encrypted social platform, which turned out to be technologically infeasible, right? It's hard to scale. You can encrypt one-to-one conversations, but when it comes to groups and chat and like a little bit higher scale, it gets a little bit harder. So, there's an important point here with the concept of experimenting, right? We all are going to make mistakes in our entrepreneurial journey, but that's all right. That's just part of the process. So, just try new things and enjoy the journey. You don't have to put so much pressure on yourself. Like, at worst case, you're just gonna. There's no such thing as wasted learning, right? And I don't think any good definition of the word entrepreneur doesn't include the word risk taker. You have to take risks. Sometimes it'll look like this, right? The room is on fire, and you just have to accept it. Like, this is fine. I've been been in this situation before. I can handle it, right? And I can just give an example. This past Monday, we were releasing the beta for Sapien to our thousands and thousands of community members. And as many of the software engineers in the crowd know, that in development, everything can be working. But when you start pushing to production, everything breaks, right? So we actually had our beta launch at 8 p.m. on Monday. And 6 p.m. on Monday, everything was broken. So we're just like, I was like, Rob, what do we do? He's like, I don't know, man. Like, there was this bug in our chat system, and we had two options. We could either A, scrap the chat system entirely, or B, give it one last good screen and find out what that bug was and push it. The chat system is huge, takes an hour to deploy, so we only had one shot at this before the beta went live. So we had to make a call then, right? And what we chose at that point was like, look, Rob, I'm pretty sure we got it this time. We know what the bug is. So Rob made the correction. We pushed out the code, waited an hour with our fingers crossed, and 7:30, the code worked, right? And this was just like, thank God. Like, if this hadn't gone through, our entire beta would have failed. But instead, everything worked out smoothly, and the community loved it. And the point here is that the more mistakes that you make and the learnings that you have from those mistakes, the better you become at taking risks. The more you understand when to take those calculated risks. And there's this quote from Batman Begins with Alfred Pennyworth, who tells Bruce Wayne, "Why do we fall, sir?" He asks him this question after he fails to save Gotham, right? And the answer is, so that we can learn to pick ourselves up. Be like Batman. Be strong. Be resilient. And I have this short clip from one of my favorite inspirational speakers, Gary Vaynerchuk. If you guys don't follow him, I highly recommend you check out his material. This guy's awesome. Just wanted to share a 1 and 30-second clip from him on strengths and weaknesses.
I'm so focused on the opportunities at hand. We could fill up the next 100 episodes of Daily VD with my weaknesses. I actually think one of the interesting things about how I roll is how little I focus on the weaknesses. It's funny, I'm so focused on my strengths. I'm so focused on the opportunities at hand. I'm so focused on the positivity, the optimism of the game. I'm just not really good at respecting my weaknesses. I'm not good at dwelling at my weaknesses. I'm not good at acknowledging my weaknesses. Why? Everybody else is doing that for you. Understand that. Understand that. 90% of the world's trying to focus on your weaknesses. I'm watching the basketball stuff right now. They're focusing on Steph Curry's weaknesses, LeBron's weaknesses, Draymond's weaknesses. Everybody's got weaknesses. I think to win, you need to be your biggest fan. You need to focus on your strengths. Because there's a real part of me that cuts that cancer out. Like, we've all got them. We've all got our weaknesses. Everybody. I just think the people that win respect their strengths more.
So why does Gary say not to focus on your weaknesses? Because everyone else is already doing that for you, right? So you have to double down on your strengths. That's how you will succeed.
I have so many weaknesses.
So just going back to Sapien for a second, right? Some of our core values are privacy, giving users a voice, stopping the exploitation of data, right? And one thing that I urge you all with your ventures is try to really think about your mission and tie your core values to your venture, right? What do you want to stand up for? And that will always, drive you to new heights. So, and to wrap it up, there'll be ups and downs in entrepreneurship. There'll be days you just want to quit. There'll be days you want to pull your hair out. There'll be days you want to pull your co-founder's hair out, right? And through all of this, I think just appreciating the moment that you can, that you've experienced failure, for example, will help you grow as a human. You can pick yourself off the ground, correct your assumptions, and just learn, right? And I think that's one of the greatest empowerments of entrepreneurship, and that's the journey that awaits all of you. And I wanted to end with this quote from Big Sean, because I love rap. I work way too hard. To me, work is not a job. To me, working is a purpose. If it ain't that, then it's worthless. Thank you, TiE, for having me, and I wish you all best luck. Open for questions. Yeah.